Hello everyone and welcome to this special edition of Take Note. I'm Huang Jiyuan. And here today, I want to talk about something that hasn't been seen a lot in the news. Something that's disappearing from the front pages. That's women's rights and gender equality. As news organizations are filled with explosive geopolitical headlines, these issues are being overshadowed. And around the world, over the past several years, we've seen them being challenged and came under threat. Where do we go from here? As we celebrate the International Women's Day, I talked to Ms. Sarwat Adnan, the head of the United Nations Resident Coordinator's Office in China. I asked her, as a woman, a mother, a diplomat, how she saw all these challenges. And here is what she said. I want to read you an excerpt from the UN website. It says, the 30th anniversary of the Beijing Platform for Action is an unmissable chance to remind global leaders and activists that our shared future depends on gender equality and empowering all women and girls. Yet with all the geopolitics that's going on right now, I can see that headlines regarding women's rights are all but disappearing from the front pages. So how would you convince people that this is an important issue that deserves more attention than it currently does?
So I think, in my humble opinion, gender empowerment, gender equality, and the whole women's rights movement doesn't have an expiration date. And we've got a very long way to go to achieve it in its entirety, a momentum that started way back in 1857 by women workers in a garment factory that wanted fair conditions. I'm a very positive person, so I always feel that it's an unfinished business and we have a long way to achieve it. But even if there is pushback, to me it's a good sign because it's important. Change is happening, so there will be all sorts of reactions, including positive and negative. So I see even the small dip as a positive signal towards positive change.
Since you're working here in China, I want to talk a little bit about the Chinese women's rights on here. So the Chinese put a great emphasis on family. That's in our culture from, I don't know, thousands of years ago, perhaps. From your observation, in what ways has it shaped the roles and expectations of women? And also, because we're now in the 21st century, in the modern era, how is the modern value and demands reshaping it?
I get very touched by the intergenerational support system that women are benefiting from. The grandparents looking after the grandchildren, which not only enables women to achieve and accomplish both at their professional life, but also their personal life, but also for the children, the intergenerational exchange. I think it's beneficial and healthy for the family and for everyone in the community. So for me, that has been the most inspiring value that I have seen and I'm learning a lot about. And also with China being an aging society, I think there are a lot of opportunities on the intergenerational exchange that really promotes and enables women in China to achieve the choices that they would like to pursue and excel in them.
Do you think this aging society problem is going to have an impact on the women's progress here?
Every issue will have challenges and opportunities. For us, it's how do we turn these challenges into opportunities. And China, as a whole, looking at its history, shows that it has been extremely adaptable to a lot of the challenges that it has confronted and changed that into opportunities. So I firmly believe that approach will also be applied in the aging society.
If you can say, for one day, you can change one aspect about the women's problem, whether it's something you want to enhance or something you want to fight back, one thing that you can change, what would it be?
I think the most difficult change is going to be the mindset.
What are some of those mindsets that you just mentioned?
For instance, childcare responsibilities. I think, as a mother myself, I'm expected to be the primary caregiver of my children, even though I have a very supportive husband. I have a very supportive support network around me, but the primary responsibility for childcare rests and has always rested with me. So I think these are the kind of mindsets that need to shift a bit so that we can see accelerated progress, and women shouldn't feel ashamed or guilty about and also apologetic for the progress that they have achieved, whether at home or whether in the workplace or whether in the community. I always feel that it's the women are going through these emotions in various phases because of some of the judgments and mindsets that we experience.
From where I sit, I see that this kind of mindset, despite people trying to change it for a very long time now, it's still deeply ingrained in people's mind, whether it's in China or on the international level around the world. It seems universal, kind of. So what would you suggest that people do to actively and quickly change this?
There's no shortcut. That's why I said that this movement doesn't have an expiration date, because it's going to require taking baby steps at some point, depending on the issue and at what level you are in the journey of empowerment, and supporting that empowerment as well. Don't give up. We know it's going to take time. I mean, this journey started way back in 1857 with the International Women's Day, where it all began. We don't give up, but we continue to inspire one another. We continue to demand and push towards a fair and equal world where both women and men can thrive together and achieve significantly for the Sustainable Development Goals, but also for the peace in our planet.